Good afternoon, Ms. Bridgewater. How are you today?
I'm great, Joanna. How are you?
Excellent. Thank you. Hope you had a great weekend.
I had to work, but yes, it was it was good.
When is the SAP reset date?
February the 6th.
Thank you. Courtroom 2 will be ready, I guess, when you all get ready for us.
Okay, good afternoon, Judge Morrow. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Yeah.
afternoon.
I'm just getting,
Francois, I was like, Francois, what are you doing there?
I was thinking the same thing.
I'm just visiting for today, just helping out just for today.
Okay. Good to see you.
Good to see y'all too.
Who do
Whenever,
we have?
I'm sorry, it's going to be position number 1, Miss Adair. Is that what you think? Adair.
Okay, and let's see. Who's representing Miss Adair this afternoon?
I am, Your Honor. Sorry,
Oh, no.
computer issues.
Okay, just let us know. I just wanted to make sure that we had you on. Good afternoon, Miss Atai. Good afternoon, Miss Adair. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 24 CR 000436E with battery family violence. Who do we have on from oh, Miss Jackson from pretrial. Good afternoon, Miss Jackson.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. He has 42 cycles. I apologize. She has 14 cycles. The last arrest was January the 6th, 2022 in Gwinnett County for Terroristic Threats Act and simple assault and a violation of a family violence order and a probation violation. She does appear to have an open case pending in Tennessee for domestic assault. And she does have misdemeanor convictions. One in 2022 out of Gwinnett County for simple assault and battery, family violence, and disorderly conduct. There's another one in 2022 out of Gwinnett County for the violation of a family violence order. One in 2021 out of Gwinnett County for the violation of a family violence order. There was one in 2022 out of Forsyth County for a DUI and driving while license suspended or revoked. And she did receive first offender treatment in 2020 out of Gwinnett County for simple assault. That case was sealed May the 5th, 2022. And there was one in 2016 out of Cherokee County for 2 counts of disorderly conduct. She does appear to meet the criteria for UJR level 2. It's an 84% chance of appearing for court and a 65% chance of remaining arrest free. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Brief facts of the case is that on January 21st, 2024, the officer was dispatched to the 9810 Medlock Bridge Road location, which appears to be, it looks like Trattoria 141 restaurant in reference to a domestic dispute. The 911 caller advised, who happened to be the witness, Colin McGowan, that he observed a physical altercation between a male and a female in the parking lot. The victim advised that basically on the same day that he took his girlfriend, who happened to be the defendant and her sister, to that restaurant. He explained that the defendant became intoxicated after consuming many glasses of wine. He further explained that she became upset and began to claw at his face with her hand. Once he stepped away, the defendant followed him and began striking him with her hands and her heels. The victim went back into the restaurant to create some space from the two of them, at which point she then began to follow him again, striking him again. Eventually, he had to barricade himself inside the restaurant to get her to stop. The officer observed multiple scratches and lacerations to the victim's face and blood from the victim's face on the defendant's fingernails. The victim was bleeding from both his cheeks, from both of his cheeks, his forehead, his nose, and his ears. The witness, Mr. McGowan, also confirmed that he saw the defendant strike the victim in the face with her fist. The victim and the defendant have been living together for approximately 5 years. Our office has not been able to get in contact with the victim in this case, that victim being John Fleury, Fleury. But given, I mean, the rather extensive violent history from everything from disorderly conduct to battery family violence, and she actually has an underlying battery family violence conviction, which appears to be out of Gwinnett, to which our office is seeking to transfer. She's also had arrests for everything from ag stalking to DUI. The recommendation from the state in this case is a $7,500 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no contact with the victim in this case, a stay away from that incident location, which is that 141 restaurant, also known as TRATTORIA, and the completion of a family violence intervention program. And if we could sound from Mr. Flory in accordance with Marcy's law, that'd be greatly appreciated, Your Honor.
What's the last name again, Mr. Pierre Thomas?
Flora, I'll spell it, or I might be pronouncing it wrong, but it's Fleury, Fleury.
Mr. Flory is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Doesn't appear so. Yes, Mr. Ty.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is a 52-year-old lifelong resident of Georgia. She is gainfully employed as a waitress. She does deny the allegations. I do understand there's some history, but she's recommended for a UJR level 2. I would ask for a signature on bond through pretrial services and a 1-day anger awareness, or if she needs to do the FVIP in order to get the signature bond through pretrial services. She can't afford a bond. She works as a waitress. So I would just ask for a signature bond through pretrial services, level 2, nothing further.
Okay, it will be a $7,500 signature bond through pretrial level 2, a 2-week anger awareness course, no further contact with Mr. Fleury, stay away from the Trattoria restaurant, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Miss Adair.
Number 19, Simmons.
Good afternoon, Ms. Simmons. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Your Honor. Good afternoon, everyone.
Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Simmons. You've been charged in case 24 CR 000451B with giving false information to law enforcement. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
Your Honor, I apologize to the court. When I was going through the pull sheet, I did not, Ms. Simmons wasn't on it, but I'm going to go through the history as quickly as possible.
So I'll let you do that. Good afternoon, Mr. Walker. Can I go on to the facts while?
Yes, Your Honor. It's quite simple. The defendant gave a false name to law enforcement. The state is seeking $1,000 SOB through, I'm sorry, just a signature bond through the jail. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
And Ms. Kim, is this your case? Okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
$1,000 signature bond through the jail. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Simmons.
Thank you, Your Honor. God bless you.
Number 21, Strong.
Good afternoon, Ms. Strong. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Ms. Strong, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000445A with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson? You're on mute, Ms. Jackson.
Okay, I apologize, Shona. The last arrest, I'm sorry, she has a total of 16 cycles. The last arrest was September the 30th, 2023 in Florida for aggravated assault. There was no disposition for that arrest. She does appear to meet the criteria for UJR level 1 with a 79% chance of appearing for court and an 80% chance of remaining arrest free. She does have misdemeanor sentences and convictions. One in 2021 out of DeKalb County for theft by shoplifting, and there was another one in 2021. She received a no contendere sentence out of Addersfield, Georgia, for driving while license suspended or revoked. One in 2019 out of Addersfield, Georgia, for possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Yeah, Sean, in this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 2835 Springfield Court, where they spoke to both parties. I believe that this is a dual arrest. The other party's name is Russ Cotton. The parties are married. It looks like they were having some type of marital spat that turned physical. Officers were not able to determine who the primary aggressor was, but I believe that they both had visible injuries. I know Mr. Cotton, in fact, did have visible injuries. It looks like the defendant, Ms. Strong, bit him and he had visible bite marks. The state is asking for a $2,000 surety, no contact with the victim. I'll defer to the court as far as the stay away, since they are a marital couple. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
Kim, is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor, this is my case. I believe we don't have a conflict attorney today. So I'll just go ahead and read out the conflict. The Mr. Ross Cotton, the husband. My client is 26 years old, a long-time Georgia resident. She was born here. And Your Honor, she has a 6 years old son who is really needing her. And right now she is also expecting a baby. She works for a nonprofit organization, graduated from high school. She's got some college education. My recommendation is for UJR, pretrial service level 1, Your Honor. And it will be the best to have a no further violent contact, and yet she has no objection to have a no further contact and stay away if Your Honor is not inclined to give her stay away or no further violent contact. Sorry about that. Thanks.
Does she have a place to go besides the Springfield court address, Miss Kim?
She can go to her auntie's place, however, not really.
Okay. I want to address Mr. Cotton before I make a decision as far as who's going to stay away. But as far as the rest of the bond goes, it'll be a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Mr. Cotton, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Officer Francois, do we have Russell Cotton in the courtroom with you?
Yes, we do. She has a question.
As far as the stay away order, the address that she just listed is, the house is in my name. So I don't understand how I will be ordered to stay away from my house, if that makes sense.
Does Mr. Cotton stay there?
Temporarily, but he does have another address on file that he goes back and forth between. I don't stay at my aunt's house. That is the house that me and my son stay in.
Okay, all
Your Honor,
right.
the
So,
warrant does say that he was only temporarily staying there. So the state, I would be asking for the stay away from him, for him.
so no further contact with Mr. Cotton, and I'll have Mr. Cotton, when I address him, stay away from the Springfield court address. All right, good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
And can we have Mr. Cotton next, please?
Yes, come on, Mr. Cotton.
Good afternoon, Mr. Cotton. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Cotton, thank you. You have a right to remain silent. Anything that you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. Unfortunately, we do not have a conflict attorney available today to represent you. As such, you can either do one of two things. If you would like to wait until tomorrow to address your case when you can have an attorney present to represent you, you can do that. If you would like to move forward pro se without the advice of counsel today, you can do that also. Which would you like to do?
I'd like to represent myself today.
Okay. Mr. Cotton, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000438A with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
He has 5 cycles. The last arrest was March the 13th, 2003, out of Clayton County for a probation violation. He does appear to have a probation, maybe still pending out of Clayton County. It's an old case, which charges associated with a CWAC and armed robbery. That disposition date was April the 23rd, 2004, and it says 20 years of confinement. Nothing in addition. He does appear to meet the criteria for UJR level 2 with an 84% chance of appearing for court and a 65% chance of remaining arrest-free. Nothing in addition.
Your Honor, brief facts, and just to add brief facts for his involvement in the altercation, it's alleged that he forcibly grabbed the victim by the neck and forced her against the bedroom wall. After that, subsequently, he pushed her down the stairs. He also took the victim's son's PlayStation 4 and threw it down the stairs as well. As a result of the physical altercation, the victim in this case sustained visible marks and knots on her forehead. She's also, he stated to the officer that he believed that she was pregnant at the time. She stated to the officer that she was pregnant at the time. So I think the state will be seeking to add that charge at a later date. But the recommendation from the state is a $5,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no contact with the victim in this case, and a stay away from that location.
Okay. It will be a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. No further contact with Ms. Strong. Stay away from the Springfield court address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that he might have there. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. So, Mr. Cotton, I'm going to allow you to sign your own bond to get out, but you, aside from going back to the Springfield court, can only go back there to pick up your belongings, and you're to have no further contact with Ms. Strong, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Cotton.
You too, sir.
Thank you.
Number 10, Mr. Harris. He's a conflict.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Harris. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Harris, you have a right to remain silent. Anything that you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. Unfortunately, we do not have a conflict attorney available today to represent you. As such, you can do one of two things. If you like to proceed pro se, you can do that today, meaning without the advice of counsel. If you would like for me to reset your case until tomorrow, time that we can have counsel here for you, I'm happy to do that also. What would you like to do?
I'd like to proceed, bro.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Harris. You've been charged in case 24 CR 000435B with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
He has 12 cycles. The last arrest was June the 24th, 2022 in Fulton County for 2 counts of simple battery family violence and battery family violence and aggravated stalking and aggravated assault and theft by taking. He does appear to have multiple open probation cases. The first one is 23 SC 185909 for battery family violence. That disposition date was February the 1st, 2023. 7 months of confinement and 4 years and 5 months of probation. The next case is 23 SC 185906 for battery family violence. That disposition date was February the 1st, 2023. 7 months of confinement and 4 years and 5 months of probation. The last case is 23 SC 183380 for robbery by force, aggravated assault, aggravated stalking, battery family violence, and theft by taking. That disposition date is February the 1st, 2023. 7 months of confinement and 4 years and 5 months of probation. He does have one prior felony sentence. He received first offender treatment in 2017 for aggravated assault. That case was sealed June the 29th, 2022. And that's one misdemeanor conviction. In 2006 for out of Meriwether County, Georgia, for criminal trespassing. And he does meet the criteria for UJR level 2 with an 84% chance of appearing for court and a 65% chance of remaining arrest-free. Nothing in addition.
Your Honor, while the facts in this case may be simple, the history is not. The facts are in this case is that the defendant moved the victim forcibly in a forcible manner with his left hand, which caused the victim to hit her head on the wall. I just want to point out, though, I'm seeing at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cases within a short time span, to which the victim in this case is the same victim as the victim in those other 5 cases. In addition to that, Your Honor, I'd like to point out that this arrest was simultaneously with another battery family violence arrest that I guess he was alleged to have participated in, I believe, yesterday, that is accompanied by the cruelty to children in the third count. But I would like to point out that 2015 ag assault in Fulton County was the same victim. The 2022 battery family violence was the same victim. The 2023 battery family violence, same victim, where he received the 7 months of confinement, 4.5 years of probation, to which he would be on probation now. Another 2023 where he received the same sentence, to which he would be on probation now, same victim. And lastly, Your Honor, the battery family violence, ag stalking, theft by taking, ag assault, and robbery, same victim in this case, to which he received the 7 months of confinement and 4.5 years of probation. It would be the same victim. And again, it's the same victim for a separate incident that happened yesterday that is the result of this arrest. And so given that, the state is extremely seriously concerned for the safety of the victim in this case, for the safety of the public, and more importantly, for his likelihood to participate in other infractions. The state will be requesting a $10,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no contact with the victim whatsoever, a stay away from the incident location listed as 2980 Jonesboro Road, Atlanta, Georgia, and the completion of a family violence intervention program. And just for the record, as if it's not already there, the alleged victim in this case is Eureka, Eureka Robinson, Robinson. If we could sound for her in accordance with Marcy's law, that'd be greatly appreciated, Your Honor. And I'd just like to note that simultaneous battery that he was arrested for, battery family violence, was already accepted by the DA's office and upgraded to a felony.
That's the one, did you say from when?
I do
When
believe
was
that the
that?
arrest, I do believe that the offense date was yesterday. Let me double check on that, Your Honor.
Did he get a bond on that, or has he been before court on that?
I don't believe he's been before a court yet, but if he would have, it would have been this morning, Your Honor.
That incident happened on the 20th.
No.
I went to court this morning. It was no bond.
Thank you.
And I just want to correct that incident happened on December 27th of 2023. Simultaneous arrest.
If Miss Eureka Robinson is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Okay, it doesn't appear so. Let's see, in the interest of fairness, what I would like to do is that I'm gonna give you a bond today, Mr. Harris, but I want to give you also the opportunity to be represented by counsel. So as far as today goes, there'll be a $10,000 good bond, no further contact with Ms. Robinson, stay away from the Jonesboro Road address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Let's see, Ms. Bridgewater, to give him the opportunity to at least have counsel address this court, if we could place him back on the SEA calendar for tomorrow, so that we can get him a conflict attorney and possibly readdress the bond with whomever is here tomorrow. But I want to give him that opportunity at least.
Okay, we'll set it for tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to give you the bond today, Mr. Harris, but I want you to be represented. So I'm going to give you another opportunity for tomorrow also. Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Judge,
Judge, I apologize. Can I, this is Judy Kim. I've gotten a client, Yvette Lepkowski. I'm actually here in Judge Schwall's courtroom, and I've been here all morning and all afternoon. And I only have like 26% on my phone, and I'm still waiting for the judge to take the bench. I don't know if she's available or if I can come back.
Okay,
in a
let's
few
see.
minutes.
Good afternoon, Ms. Kim. Tell me your client's name again.
It's Ivette Lepkowski, Lepkowski. I apologize. It's just I'm sitting on the
Position
jury room right now.
14.
Miss Kim, this is Keith Cook. I'm with the PD's office. I did speak to her, but she thought she had representation. I think her mother arranged it. So I could do the hearing, but I would have to have, if she's fine with it and you're fine with it, otherwise I'm kind of ethically barred if you've been retained. But
I mean, I'll defer to the court if the judge is allowing me to go forward on it. So, and
Okay,
I do
so-
have a witness here.
Oh, I'm
for-
sorry. You want to do it now? Okay, I misunderstood. Okay,
Well,
that's fine.
is Ms. Lepkowski in courtroom too?
it's actually located at ACDC.
Okay, and ACDC is not on the line as of yet, Ms. Kim.
Oh, there they
So-
go. They're here.
Okay, is this Ms. Lepkowski?
Yes.
Okay, let's go ahead and deal with this now then. Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 24 CR 000430G with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
Judge, she does not have any prior arrests on file. She appeared to meet the criteria for UJR through the jail, with a 91% chance of appearing for court and an 87% chance of remaining arrest-free. Nothing in addition.
Walker?
Yes, Sean. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to the Marriott located at 35 14th Street, where they spoke to the victim, Mr. Christopher Lepkowski. He is the husband of the defendant. Law enforcement was called because the defendant did attack him, elbowed him, kicked him, and punched him several times. The officer not only spoke to the victim, but they spoke to witnesses in the lobby who said they witnessed the defendant attacking the victim. We did make contact with the victim. He said that there is a domestic violence history out of the state of Virginia. And this is not the first time that she has been arrested due to domestic violence. So the state does have concern for his safety. The state is asking for a $2,000 surety bond, no contact with the defendant, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
Ms. Kim?
Judge, my client is 34 years old. She and her husband have two minor children, a son who is about to turn 3 years old, 2 years, 10 months, and a newborn daughter, 8 months old. Mr. Lepkowski is on the line, I believe. He would like to address the court if allowed. He told me, and I may have misunderstood him, that in the Virginia case that he was the defendant on that one, but I could be wrong. He is asking for a contact due to the fact they have two minor children under the age of 5. And he indicated to me that she's got some medical condition with her thyroid. So this could be causing some kind of hormonal imbalance. But in any case, Judge, if he is on the line, would you allow him to speak to the court and address the issue of contact?
Mr. Lipkowski, if you would like to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. I'll need for you to activate your camera for me.
Yes, I'm right here.
Okay.
Hello.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And tell me who that is in the room with you.
The
Oh.
defendant's mother.
Okay. Thank you. What would you like to tell the court, sir?
Well, I guess for the record, the gentleman before who spoke, saying that that she was, she has a prior that is not correct. So, I guess I would like to say that this incident, like Miss Kim said, may be due to a recent diagnosis that, you know, a thyroid problem and maybe some hormones were kicking in. I think I want to go back to my normal life and have her come home and we can have a happily ever after. So I guess that's what I'd like to say. I would request a not a no contact.
Yeah, are you afraid of her, sir?
No, I'm not.
Has this ever happened before?
There have been escalated issues. This one seemed to be a little bit more severe than anything.
Where are you all residing at the present time?
We live in Virginia, city of Ashburn.
Anything else that you want to tell me?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Kim, anything further?
Judge, I think it'd probably be appropriate in this case that she probably gets some kind of mental health evaluation. I'm not a doctor, but there could be some issues of postpartum as well, since she has a fairly newborn child, a daughter. We would ask for that to be part of the court order.
Briefly, I just want to make clear that our victim advocate did speak to the victim in this case, and he advised when they lived in Virginia, this is not the first time that she has been physically violent towards him. So that's where they came from.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Walker.
So that's the basis of the state's concern.
If nothing further, it will be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. No further violent contact with Mr. Lipkowski. Stay away from the Marriott at the 3514 address. Mental health evaluation. Stay on any medications that she's currently on. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Yes, sir.
Your Honor, if I could address the course, the stay away from that particular address. I mean, we are staying here until Friday, and I mean, I have the hotel. I wouldn't want to have to change my reservations. I'm here on business, and I'm trying to get my job done and go home. And it would be more convenient if we could stay here. We already have the reservation.
Well, given what's happened at that location and how that might have affected other people at that location, I think that I'm allowing her to sign herself out of jail. I do not want her going back there. So I think that the inconvenience that you might have as far as having to get another hotel room or she getting another hotel room does not rise to the level of protecting the other people that may have seen what went on. All right. Good luck to you all. Anything
Thank you,
further?
Judge. Thanks for allowing me to jump in line. Thank you.
Not a problem. Have a good afternoon.
You too. Thank you.
Who do we have next?
I'm sorry, Judge, can you please repeat the bond?
Okay. Let's see. It was a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. Is that all you need, or you need the whole thing?
Oh, okay, the total was 3,000 SOB through the jail. Thank you.
Okay.
Number 20, Strange.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Strange. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was. So this is Ali Strange?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good afternoon, sir. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. You've been charged in case 24 CR 000441E with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
Yes, Your Honor. He has 14 cycles. The last arrest was July the 25th, 2023 in DeKalb County for a failure to appear. The underlying charge was theft by shoplifting. He does appear to be on probation in Fulton County for aggravated assault. That case number is 21 SC 179448. That disposition date was January the 5th, 2022, and the term is for 4 years. He does appear to have an outstanding hold out of Chamblee, Georgia, for a probation violation. The date on that warrant was December the 19th, 2023. He does appear to meet the criteria for UJR Level 3 with a 79% chance of appearing for court and a 55% chance of remaining arrest-free. And he does have prior felony convictions and a sentence in 2019 for criminal damage to property in the second degree and 2 counts of burglary in the second degree. And he received first offender treatment in 2014 for possession of tools for commission of a crime and criminal damage to property in the first degree. That case was sealed July the 8th, 2019. Has 1 misdemeanor conviction in 2018 for 2 counts of giving false information to an officer. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 965 Sells Avenue, where they spoke to the victim. I will spell her first name, Yadacee Lopez. It's reported to law enforcement that the two were engaged in a domestic dispute where the defendant did choke the victim, Ms. Lopez, in front of their children. The state is seeking a $2,000 surety bond, no contact with the victim, Ms. Lopez, a stay away from the incident location, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond, and we would sound for the victim, Ms. Lopez.
Ms. Lopez is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Ms. Kim?
I believe that was Miss Rope. Okay. Your Honor, Mr. Strange is actually 30 years old. He was born and raised here in Georgia. He indeed has a 3 years old I apologize. He has 3 minor children that he has to support. Right now, they are with grandmother. However, usually he's the one who's financially responsible. He's gainfully employed at 10 LLC, and he has a second job working as a sous chef at Cushman Pub. He's working as a subcontractor and sous chef, 2 jobs because he's the one who has to take care of 3 minor children, Your Honor. He has a bachelor's degree from Atlanta Tech College. His major was mass communication. Your Honor, we would like to request for signature on bond through pretrial level 3 as he is recommended. He has another case, another warrant that he has to take care of at Chamblee, so he's not going anywhere except that place. That's it, Your Honor. He has no objection to stay away and no further contact with Miss Lopez.
Do you know what that other warrant is for, Ms. Kim, the one out of Chamblee?
We don't know what it is for, actually, Your Honor.
It's a probation warrant, officer. Judge, I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Strange. It will be a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Lopez, stay away from the incident location address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Good luck to you, Mr. Strange.
Judge, I do apologize. I do have a quick question. Hold on 1 second for me. Okay, I'm sorry, Judge. For number 4, Mr. Crawford, did we already do him? Because the bond amount that you gave me, I wasn't sure, I don't know if it was for the female at ACDC, because I did walk away.
Okay, no, we haven't done Mr. Crawford yet.
Okay, so the 3,000 was for the female at ACDC, correct?
Let me just make sure that was,
Number 14?
yes, the
I think she
$3,000.
may be talking about Cotton. That was the cross defendant.
Okay, which case are you talking about position 14?
No, I just wanted to make sure that we did not do number 4, Mr. Crawford, because he was.
No, we
Okay,
haven't done Mr. Crawford.
okay, thank you.
Okay, you have everything else you need though?
Yes, thank you, Judge Morrow.
Okay, no problem.
We can go ahead and do number 4, Crawford.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Crawford. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Crawford, you've been charged in case 24 CR 0000439E with battery, family violence, 2 counts, and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
Yes, he has 6 cycles. The last arrest was June the 29th, 2020, out of Illinois for disorderly conduct. He does appear to meet the criteria for UJR through the jail, with a 91% chance of appearing for court and an 87% chance of remaining arrest-free. There were no convictions listed in the GCIC, Your Honor. Nothing in addition.
Got a brief facts of the case is that appears to be on January 7, 2024, the officer responded to 613 Amal Drive Southwest in reference to a dispute. Upon arrival, the officer met with the victim's 14-year-old daughter, who I will refer to as TL. TL stated that her mother's boyfriend, the defendant, had gotten physically violent with her and assaulted her mother, and assaulted her mother, Miss Jasmine Lloyd. Miss Lloyd stated that she and her baby's father had gotten into a verbal argument. The verbal argument turned physical when the defendant pushed her and proceeded to punch and stump her in her face. The juvenile victim, TL, was sleeping, but she said that she was awakened by the dispute by her mother yelling for her or for someone to call the police. TL stated that she attempted to stop the beating from happening, but she was pushed down by the defendant. TL stated that the officer observed that TL suffered a scratch on her right arm above her wrist due to the defendant pushing her. The 2 victims eventually were able to get the defendant out of the home, at which point the defendant attempted to break back into the home by kicking the door and hitting it with a steel chair. There were visible marks when the officer arrived on the door, and due to the damage to the door could no longer be opened. Miss Lloyd had, at the time of the officer's arrival, had a big knot on her forehead, as well as had visible bruising. Our office has been able to get in contact with Miss Lloyd. She confirmed that her and the defendant are in a relationship. They've been living together at the incident location. They share 1 child. I do believe that she confirmed that she would be on today, so I'd leave it to the discretion for the court to hear from her. The recommendation from the state, Your Honor, is a $3,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no contact with either victim, the juvenile or the adult, a stay away from the incident location, and the completion of a family violence intervention program. And if you could sound for the adult victim, Miss Jasmine Lloyd, in accordance with Marcy's law, that'd be greatly appreciated, Your Honor.
Is that 3,000 request broken down, Mr. Pierre Thomas? Is that 1,000 per charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Lloyd, I see you there. Now is your opportunity to address the court if you would like to do so. If so, I'll need for you to unmute yourself and I'll have to swear you in.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
can you raise your right hand for me, ma'am? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can place your hand down. What would you like to tell the court?
So, like I stated to the lady, she called me this morning, we were not in a physical altercation. We play around sometimes, and my daughter thought it was serious. She was trying to stop us, but we was playing. And I did end up falling because we were kind of drinking or whatever. So I fell on the carpet. I didn't have a knot, but I had like a red bruise from me falling on the carpet, but it wasn't serious. And then we ended up getting into an argument a little later on, which prompted the police to be called.
Call the police.
My daughter,
And how old is your daughter?
14.
Okay. Anything further, ma'am?
No, well, I would like to say that Kenneth is my child's father. We have an 11-month-old, and he is very helpful. He helps me get my baby to school, and he provides and do everything he needs. He's a good father. So I would not like to see him down there. He's not a threat to me. I'm not scared of him or nothing.
Has this ever happened before?
No, we argue. I mean, of course we argue, but that's about it. Nothing physical.
Okay, well, I'll just say, Miss Lloyd, what my biggest concern is what I tell people. You're grown. Your husband, Mr. Crawford's grown. You have a 14-year-old child who is afraid enough that she's going to call the police. That's serious as far as I'm concerned. She's 14. You all are supposed to be taking care of her. She is not supposed to be in the distress of having to call the police because the two adults that are there are in such an argument that she feels that she needs to have some type of intervention. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
You're raising these children, you know?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Lloyd, thank you. I appreciate you being here.
All right,
Ms.
thank
Kim,
you.
is this your case, Ms. Kim?
No, Your Honor, this is
No?
actually a conflict case. This is another conflict case, Your Honor.
Okay. Would somebody please let me know what all the cases are that are conflict cases so that I can make sure to address them at the top of when I'm addressing people. Mr. Crawford, again, you have a right to remain silent. Anything that you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. Unfortunately, we do not have a conflict attorney available today to represent you. I can either allow you to represent yourself if you like, if you choose to, or we can place you on the calendar for tomorrow for you to have representation. What would you like? You're on mute, courtroom two.
I can represent myself, sir.
Okay, thank you. And did you, I take it that you heard what I just said to Ms. Lloyd?
Yes, sir.
Right. Y'all are the grown adults here. You know, I understand that you all didn't call the police, but but a child had to call the police because of what was going on in your household. With that being said, I am given your history, I'm gonna allow you to sign your own bond. So for the two batteries, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pre-trial level 1 on each of those counts. And for the criminal trespass, $1,000 signature bond through pre-trial, which makes for a total of a $5,000 signature bond through pre-trial level 1, 1-day anger awareness. Are you working, Mr. Crawford?
Yes, sir. But I've been in here for a couple days, so I don't know when I get out if I'll still have a job.
Okay, well, I hope that you do, because I want you to continue to provide for your family. Given your history at this point, and given what I've heard from Ms. Lloyd, there will be no further violent contact with either the minor child or Ms. Lloyd, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Yes, sir.
All right. Good luck to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kim. I see your note there. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
Next, we have position 2, Ms. Brooks.
Good afternoon, Ms. Brooks. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Brooks, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000437E with theft by shoplifting. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
Yes, Your Honor. She has 3 cycles. The last arrest was March the 13th, 2017 in Fulton County for battery. There was no disposition for that arrest. She does appear to meet the criteria for a UJR through the jail with a 91% chance of appearing for court and an 87% chance of remaining arrest-free. Nothing in addition.
Your Honor, brief facts of the case is that on August 22nd, 2000, I'm sorry, on August, appears like August 18th, 2000, correction, on August 22nd, 2023, the officer made contact with the manager at the Family Dollar, Thomas Shipman, who advised that they want to report an incident from August 18th, 2023. Shipman advised that the defendant went to the register and was told that they were only accepting cash as a payment. As the result, she went to the back of the store, grabbed washing powder, bleach, and diapers totaling about $100 past all point of sale or purchase, and left out of the store. The manager was able to get a copy of the defendant's vehicle, and the incident was captured on video surveillance. Given the limited criminal history and the nature of the crime, the recommendation from the state is a signature bond through the jail, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and a stay away from the incident location. That is listed as 3500 Martin Luther King Drive here in Atlanta, Georgia, and Fulton County, Georgia. Nothing further to add from the state.
Mr. Ty?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 27 years old. I have no objections to the signature bond through the jail, but this incident allegedly occurred in August of 2023. She does deny the allegations, and her booking sheet shows that she was arrested January 16th. So this would be her 6th day in custody, and the booking sheet has the 16th. It is a Riverside issue. Of course, we are asking for the signature bond through the jail.
It'll be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Family Dollar on MLK, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Brooks.
23.
Okay. And 23 is Jameer Williams.
Yes, John.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Williams. I'm Judge Eric Mora. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 24 CR 000450A with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
Yes, he has 10 cycles. The last arrest was November the 1st, 2023, out of Columbus, Ohio, for criminal trespassing and obstruction of an officer. There was no disposition for that arrest. He does appear to be on federal probation for interference with flight crew members in attendance. That disposition date was November the 12th, 2021, 366 days of confinement and 36 months of probation. Also, he appears to have an open case pending in Fulton County for criminal street gang activity and criminal trespass and damage to property. That case number is 23 CP 217422. In addition to that, he appears to have an outstanding hold out of Decatur, Georgia for threat. The date on the warrant was October the 25th, 2023. He does appear to meet the criteria for UJRA level 3 with a 79% chance of appearing for court and a 50% chance of remaining arrest-free. Nothing in addition.
Walker?
Your Honor, this defendant was arrested at Georgia State University. The officer who arrested him actually was in the process of removing another individual from that building who had been criminally trespassed. Upon crossing paths with this defendant, they asked him if he was a student. He said no. They ran his name, and he came back for having an active criminal trespass warrant for the entire campus of Georgia State University. The state is seeking $1,000 surety bond. Again, stay away from the entire GSU campus. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond. And it looks like he already has an open criminal trespass to damage, where it was a $15,000 surety, and here we are yet again with another criminal trespass. So the state is seeking $1,000 surety. Stay away from GSU. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond.
Mr. Williams, put your hand down for me. Let Ms. Kim speak for you, and if you have something that you want to discuss with her, I'll allow you to do that before I make a decision, but allow her to speak for you for now, okay? I don't want you to, you have a right to remain silent, and anything that you say can be used against you, and I don't want you to say anything that might get you into any more trouble. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Mr. Williams is from Ohio. And right now, he has not been able to have any employment for about a year. He's graduated from high school. He went to college for about a year, Kent State in Ohio. However, he has not been able to get it because of his disability, and he is in the process of getting SSI applied, and hopefully he can get approved for disability. At the same time, he's also residentially challenged, so I plan to ask a social worker to help him out and help him to find housing resources. He has been here in Georgia for about a year. He used to stay with his sister. However, he's not staying with her anymore. We would like to request for signature on bond through pretrial level 3 as he's recommended. Besides, Your Honor, he has to go to DeKalb County. He's not going anywhere, Your Honor. Thank you.
So it will be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3, a social worker visit to assist with housing, stay away from the Georgia State University campus, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. I'm going to let you out, Mr. Williams, but you're going to have,
Thank you.
okay. But I just want to make sure that you know you're going to have to make sure to stay in touch with pretrial and don't miss any of your court dates. Otherwise, they're going to put a warrant out for you. Okay.
I understand, Your Honor. Thank you. God bless.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Williams.
Your Honor, position 18, Ms.
Okay.
Rodriguez.
For the G.
Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Rodriguez. I'm Judge. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you a little bit.
Okay. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
I guess since I'm here again, it's Rodriguez.
Ms. Rodriguez, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000447G with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
Yes, she has 6 cycles. The last arrest was May the 22nd, 2023 in Morrow, Georgia, for a failure to appear. The underlying charge was not listed. It just said it was a misdemeanor. She does appear to meet the criteria for UJR level 1. There's an 84% chance that she may appear for court, and an 80% chance that she may remain arrest-free. She does have misdemeanor convictions. One in 2023 out of Morrow, Georgia for disorderly conduct. One in 2016 out of Henry County for battery, family violence, and obstruction of an officer. Nothing in addition.
Yes, Sean, in this case, law enforcement was dispatched at 1836 Lisbon Drive. They spoke to the victim, Mr. Chucky Walters, who advised that he and the defendant were roommates or are roommates, and they were having a verbal disagreement, and the defendant started to call him racial slurs and throw plates at him and struck him with the cord of a toaster. The officer did observe visible welts on the victim's body. It was determined that they've been roommates for quite some time, as the officer did search the victim's name, and they have had other instances together where this victim has called the police due to domestic violence. The state is asking for a $2,000 surety bond, a stay away from the victim, Chucky Walters, a stay away from the incident location, 1836 Lisbon Drive, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
What's the alleged victim's name again, Mr. Walker? I'm sorry.
Chucky Walters.
If Mr. Walters is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Rodriguez is actually 30 years old. She was born and raised here in Georgia. She has one daughter who is only 11 years old. So she really needs to get back to her normal life to be able to see her child. Your Honor, she has not been able to get a job for the last 1 year because of her disability. She does not have any income as of now. She graduated from high school. She's qualified for public defender services. We would like to request for signature on bond pretrial service level 1 as she is recommended, and she has no objection to stay away from Mr. Chucky, who is mother's friend. And she says that 1836 Lisbon Drive is actually her place, so she should be going back home as soon as he moves out. Thank you.
Okay, it will be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with Mr. Walters. While Mr. Walters is living at the Lisbon Drive address, she cannot be there, so there can be a one-time escort to retrieve any belongings from that location. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Who do we have next?
I'm sorry, Judge. 22 Swain. I was muted.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Swain. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Swain. You've been charged in case 24 CR 000449F with battery. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
Yes, he has 69 cycles. The last arrest was October the 24th, 2023, out of Fulton County for a failure to appear. It does appear to have an open case pending in Fulton County for forgery in the 4th degree. That case number is 21 CR 004567. An additional open case pending in Fulton County for cruelty to children in the 3rd degree and simple battery. That case number is 21 CR 004586. And there's an additional open case pending in Fulton County for simple battery. That case number is 23 CR 0017996 in the letter F. And he does appear to have an open case pending in Douglasville, Georgia, for driving while license suspended or revoked. Also, he appears to be on probation in Fulton County for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. That case number is 18 SC 161894. That disposition date was August the 19th, 2019. And the term is for 5 years. And he does appear to have prior felony convictions. It's one in 2007 out of Clayton County for false imprisonment. One in 2001 out of Florida for aggravated battery. So another one in 2001 out of Florida for grand theft and possession of cocaine. He does have misdemeanor convictions and sentences. This one in 2022 out of Paulding County for driving while license suspended or revoked. He received a nolo contendory sentence in 2020 out of Clayton County for driving without a valid license. He received a nolo contendory sentence in 2016 out of Douglas County for driving while license suspended or revoked. And there was a conviction in 2017 for driving without a valid license. And there's one in 2012 out of McDonough, Georgia for driving without a valid license. Nothing in addition. He does appear to meet the criteria for a UJR, a level 4. There's a 61% chance that he may appear for court and a 50% chance he may remain arrest-free. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Okay, Your Honor, I know that was a lot, but in short, this is his fourth case that's open in state court. This is his third violent offense that's open in state court. I've looked at those other battery and simple battery cases. They're all each separate victims, so there is a concern for the safety of this victim. And at this point, members of our community, how he has three open battery cases with all different victims. But in this matter, the law enforcement officer was dispatched to 320 Fairburn Road, where they met with the victim, Ms. Shoshonda Wells. She advised that her and the defendant were engaged in a verbal disagreement. Apparently, her and the defendant used to date. He came to her residence to confront her about an incident that she had with his current girlfriend who lives in her apartment complex. At that time, he did become violent and did assault her. The officer did observe lacerations on the victim's neck and face. The state is asking for a $5,000 cash bond. Stay away from the incident location, 320 Fairburn Road. No contact with the victim, Ms. Shoshonda Wells. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. And I think I saw Ms. Wells on the line earlier, so we would stand for the victim at the appropriate time.
If Ms. Wells would like to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Of course, you do not have to. Ms. Wells, I'll need for you to unmute yourself. And is this you in the red shirt, Ms. Wells?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, Ms. Wells. What would you like to tell the court?
I just want to speak on Mr. Damien's ward that I don't feel that he should get a bond or a signature bond because this man is very dangerous. He has an attitude problem. He loves to pull guns and always got weapons on him. Ever since the 4 years that I've been dating him, he has always had weapons. And then when you pulled it out on me in my house in front of my kids, my grandkids, they're here. You can see my kids, everybody here. Show my daughter she's pregnant. You know what I'm saying? It don't make no sense. And then look how many prior cases you got about children. So I don't feel safe. And at this time, I just don't.
Okay, thank you for being here this afternoon, Ms. Wells. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Swain is 45 years old. He was born in Florida. However, he has been here in Georgia for more than 20 years, Your Honor. He denies the allegation. He said he did not have any weapons, especially firearms. He didn't have it. And Your Honor, he says they did not have any relationships. It was more like friend or someone acquaintance. It was not a relationship, Your Honor. He is currently married. He's been married for about 10 years. And he has a grandchild who is 3 years old. He almost has custody of grandchild. And he is currently employed. He works at Americo as a forklift operator. He's been working there for more than 13 years. And he graduated from high school. We would like to request for signature on bond through pretrial level 4 as he is recommended. And he has no objection to stay away from her place and stay away from her whatsoever. Yes.
Yeah, and briefly, I understand that he was recommended by pretrial. It puzzles me how so. This is his fourth case. On his past 3 cases, he's had surety bonds. So, I mean, he's continuously has violated Georgia law with new violent offenses with new victims. So the state has some serious concern.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. It will be a $5,000 surety bond. No further contact with Ms. Wells. Stay away from the Fairburn Road address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Let's see. If he does not make bond by the SAP calendar on 2/6, Ms. Bridgewater, could we I just make a note that given that he does have open misdemeanor cases in Fulton County, that possibly we can place those cases on that SAP calendar also.
Will do.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Bridgewater. Good luck to you, Mr. Swain. You also, Ms. Wells. Thank you for being here. Who do we have next?
Number 7, Francis.
Good afternoon, Mr. Francis. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Thank you. Mr. Francis, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000446G with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
He has 6 cycles. The last arrest was July the 30th, 2013, in Sumter County, South Carolina, for public disorderly conduct. He does have misdemeanor convictions. One in 2013 out of South Carolina for disorderly conduct. One in 2012 out of South Carolina for disorderly conduct. And one in 2009 out of Warner Robins, Georgia, for driving without a valid license. He does appear to meet the criteria for UJR level 1, with an 84% chance of appearing for court and an 80% chance of remaining arrest-free. Nothing in addition.
Got a brief facts of the case is that on January 21st, 2024, the officer responded to 2788 DeFore Ferry Road, Northwest Atlanta, Georgia, here in Fulton County, Georgia. Upon their arrival, they met with the caller, who is the victim in this case, Miss Sarquasia Sacquaesia Woods, Woods. She advised that the father of her child pushed her and threw her onto the ground. She stated that she told him that he had to leave the apartment, at which point where they both reside, and they've been residing since April 2023. She told him that he had to leave. She stated that he went out to a vehicle and that she went out to the vehicle and stood next to it as she believed he was going to take the vehicle, at which point the defendant grabbed her and pushed her onto the ground. The defendant himself admitted to grabbing the victim by her jacket and trying to move her. The victim and the defendant share a child together who we will refer to as GW, who was on the scene and witnessed the incident. GW was taken away from the parents and spoken to, at which point he advised that he saw his mom getting pushed to the ground by his father. The victim did not have any visible injuries, and it was not captured on camera. Our office has been able to get in contact with the victim. She states that they are in a relationship and that they live together at the location. They share a child together. I do believe that she's on the call, so if we could sound for Ms. Woods at the conclusion of the state's request. State's request in this incident is, given the limited criminal history and the nature of the crime, is a signature bond through the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Stay away from that incident location, as there has not been sufficient cooling off period, as yesterday was the alleged incident date. No contact with the victim and the completion of a family violence intervention program. Nothing further to add from the state at this time.
It's on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so.
Okay, so
Okay,
I don't.
Miss Woods, hold on. I'm happy to have you here, but I'm going to have you activate your camera for me.
Okay, give me 1 second. I was at work, so.
Okay, there you go. Now raise your right hand.
Okay, it won't let me. Reason.
I can see you, ma'am. So you're fine. Raise your right hand for me. Do you
Okay.
swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What would you like to tell the court?
So I'm not in fear of him. He is my child's father. He just reacted differently than how he normally acts. We do have a child together that he does help take care of. He is under medical care, which he needs both of his parents. So he has to come back to the house.
Okay. Has this ever happened before, Ms.
No,
Woods?
no, it hasn't.
Okay. Thank you. We appreciate you being here this afternoon. Mr. Ty?
Thank you.
Yes, Your
welcome.
Honor. My client is 35 years old and he does have 3 minor children. He does live here in Georgia and he does help care for his son, who, as the complaining witness stated, suffers from a heart condition and, needs both parents to be able to take care of him. He is gainfully employed. He's recommended UJR level 1, so I would ask for a signature bond through pretrial services. And of course, I object to the stay away and no further contact. Nothing further.
It will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1, no further violent contact with Ms. Woods, and 1-day anger awareness, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, sir, and you also, Ms. Woods.
Right, thank you.
Thank you.
Judge, for the cruelty to children, did they, not cross that?
That was, yeah, the charge could not be sustained.
Thank you. Number 8, Garcia.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Garcia. I'm Judge Eric Mora. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 24 CR 000443F with failure to obey traffic signals, signs and markings, obstruction of a law enforcement officer, giving false information to law enforcement, and driving while your license was suspended or revoked. Is there a history? Mr.
Yes, Your
Jackson?
Honor. He has 20 cycles. The last arrest was October the 7th, 2023 in Alto, Georgia for DUI. He does appear to be on probation in Houston County, Georgia for trafficking cocaine or legal drugs or possession of marijuana or methamphetamine. That disposition date was September the 25th, 2017, and the term is for 10 years. Does appear to have an outstanding hold out of Clarksville, Georgia for possession of marijuana. The date on that warrant is December the 9th, 2023. And he does appear to have an outstanding hold with the city of Atlanta for a parole violation. The date on that warrant is January the 3rd, 2024. It does appear to meet the criteria for UJR level 3 with a 76% chance of appearing for court and a 50% chance of remaining arrest-free. And he does have prior felony convictions, one in 2014 out of Hall County for crossing state/county guard lines with weapons or intoxicants without consent and possession of methamphetamine. One in 2013 out of Hall County for 2 counts of theft by taking. And he does have misdemeanor sentences and convictions. He received a no low contendory sentence in 2015 out of Hall County for obstruction of an officer and driving while license suspended or revoked. There was a conviction in 2015 out of Hall County for theft by receiving stolen property and giving false information to an officer. He received a no low contendory sentence in 2014 out of Hall County for obstruction of an officer. This one in 2013 out of Hall County for criminal trespassing. It's another one out of 2013 out of Hall County for battery family violence. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Brief facts of the case is that
Hold on for me, Mr. Pierre Thomas. I'm sorry. Tracy's iPhone there, ma'am. This is a court proceeding. Tracy's iPhone? Yes, you that's eating? Okay. I'm sorry, Mr. Pierre Thomas. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Brief facts of the case is that on January 21st, the officer observed a black Chrysler 300 with a Georgia tag run a red light at Fulton Industrial Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. The officer activated the lights and got behind the Chrysler, initiated a traffic stop, at which time the defendant jumped out of the vehicle and fled on foot. He took off into the bushes. The officer was eventually able to get him in custody. He asked the defendant multiple times his age and date of birth. To which he reiterated several times that his name was, his name and date of birth, in which he reiterated several times that his name was Armando Alanis, with the incorrect date of birth as well. One them all. That obviously did not come back to the subject. Your Honor, given the differentiation in the criminal history and the several holes, the recommendation from the state is a signature bond through the jail, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and no driving while out on bond. Or at
Any
least
object?
a valid license.
No objections, Your Honor.
Okay, so it'll be a $500 signature bond through the jail on each charge, makes for a total of a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. No driving without a valid license, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Garcia.
I appreciate it.
Number 6, Falcon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Falcon. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case number 24 CR 0000442F with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
He has 17 cycles. I'm sorry. Yes, 17 cycles. The last arrest was January the 16th, 2020 out of Clayton County for fleeing or attempting to elude an officer in a hit and run. He does appear to be on, I'm sorry, and I apologize to the courts. He does appear to be on probation, it says, in Fulton County. Case number is 18 SC 162283 for fleeing and attempting to elude an officer. It doesn't give me additional information. I will look that up in just a moment for you. Apologize to the courts. But he does have prior felony convictions. One in 2018 for robbery, one in 2011 out of Virginia for malicious wounding, and one in 2008 out of Virginia for possession of controlled substance with the intent to distribute. One in 2001 out of Virginia for possession of a firearm during commission of a felony. One in 2000 out of Virginia for theft by receiving stolen property. One in 1999 for possession of marijuana with the intent to distribute. And he does appear to meet the criteria for UJR level 3 with a 79% chance of appearing for court and a 65% chance of remaining arrest-free. Nothing in addition.
Now, a brief facts of the case is that it appears that on January 20th, 2024, the officer responded to the incident location, that incident location being 5745 Radford Loop, South Fulton in Fulton County, Georgia. In response to a physical domestic dispute, the victim advised that there was a dispute about a vehicle, that the defendant became irate and began damaging her property before ultimately becoming physically violent towards her. The victim stated that the defendant grabbed her around the neck during the tussle before pushing her. The victim had marks around her neck area that were consistent with that physical dispute. Our office has been able to get in contact with the victim, who advised that her and the defendant are in a relationship, that they live together at the incident location, and that they share no children together. I do believe that she's on the call today, so I'll allow for her to sound. Your Honor, the state is a bit concerned with the flight risk aspect in addition to other things, but we've just heard about the 2019 fleeing and attempting to elude, to which he was on 5 years probation. While on that, he was arrested for another fleeing and attempting to elude and a hit and run out of Clayton. So 2 separate counties there. The recommendation from the state is a $3,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no contact with the victim, a stay away from the incident location, and the completion of a family violence intervention program. And if we can sound for Miss Angel Frazier, Angel Frazier, Frazier, in accordance with Marcy's law, that'd be greatly appreciated.
Ms. Frazier. Okay, if you would like to address the court, Ms. Frazier, I'll need you to activate your camera for me. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. What would you like to tell the court?
I would just like to clarify something. He did not physically put his hands around my neck. I'm not sure where those marks did come from. We did get into a bit of a tussle. And I would like to state that I am not afraid of him, and that I have informed him that he can return to the residence. We have discussed him making other arrangements, living arrangements, And I would like to suggest that he attends a anger management course.
Are you afraid of him?
No, I am not.
Has this happened before?
We have had verbal altercations, but nothing physically.
And you both live at the, what is it, Radford Loop address?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Anything further, Ms. Frazier?
No, sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, I appreciate you being here this afternoon. Thank you. Yes, Ms. Atai.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 43 years old. He has lived in Georgia for over 10 years. He has strong ties to the community. He's gainfully employed as an auto body technician, and he is also enrolled in school at Gwinnett Tech. He does deny the allegations in the warrant. You heard from the complaining witness. She does want contact with him, so we would ask for no further violent contact. We would object to a stay away, and he's recommended UJR level 3. So I'm going to request a signature bond through pretrial services. And I understand the state, brought up the fleeing. He does have a PTSD diagnosis, if that helps. But I am going to request for a signature bond through pretrial services. Nothing further.
It will be a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3, 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Ms. Frazier, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, sir.
Number 5, Cunningham.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Cunningham. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Cunningham, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000440E with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
He has 2 cycles. Your Honor, this is going to be a bond surrender. The last arrest was April the 7th, 2023. Simple battery and possession of marijuana less than an ounce, and that was in Fulton County. He was out on a signature bond through pretrial services on those charges. That case number is 23 CR 002130 and the letter E. Nothing in addition. He does appear to meet the criteria for UJR level 2 with an 84% chance of appearing for court and a 71% chance of remaining arrest-free. Nothing in addition.
On a brief facts of the case is that it appears that on July 8, 2023, the officer was dispatched to the incident location, that being 2377 Baywood Drive, Southeast Atlanta, Georgia, here in Fulton County, Georgia, on a domestic violence call. The victim advised that her boyfriend and the current father of her child, accused her of sleeping with another man while she was in the shower. The victim stated that she put on her clothes and attempted to leave the home location, at which point she was grabbed by the defendant. And he pulled her into the home, into the bedroom, at which point he threw her on the bed, placed his hands around her neck, and began stating that he was going to kill her. She stated that the defendant threw 2 punches her way and ultimately connected one behind her right ear. The officer was able to observe scratches on the victim's left upper arm. Our office has not been able to get in contact with the victim in this case. The victim in this case is Terriona Scruggs, Terriona Scruggs, Scruggs. Your Honor, our office is highly concerned, not only because the allegation is that he strangled her, or while strangling her, he threatened to kill her, but that case that we previously heard about was ultimately upgraded to a battery family violence, and it's the exact same victim here. He was privileged enough to have received some sort of signature bond there. However, less than a year later, he's violated that against the same victim and with the exact same crime, battery family violence. Given our office's concern for his likelihood to participate in other crimes, the exact same crime, and the danger to the victim in this case, the recommendation from the state is a $10,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, a stay away from that incident location, no contact, as he was previously ordered to have no contact, but absolutely no contact in this case, and the completion of a family violence intervention program. And if we could sound from Ms. Scruggs, that'd be greatly appreciated.
Before I do that, Mr. Pierre Thomas, do you have that bond, the previous bond?
Yeah, it appears to be a split bond. I can look directly at it. One moment. I have it pulled up. And so it appears to be a split bond. It looks like he got $2,500 good bond, I believe, on the battery family violence, and he got $1,000 signature bond through the pretrial services on the remaining charge, which I think would have been the marijuana, if I'm not mistaken.
What's the date of that bond?
The date of this bond is, Your Honor, it is 6/5. I'm sorry. The order is 4/8/2023.
4/8/23. Okay, and who signed the
That was
bond?
Judge Williams, Your Honor.
Okay, and what were the conditions? No further contact?
Yes, the conditions were for him to have no further contact with the victim, in this case, Tariona Scruggs, and to complete a 12-week anger awareness program to begin 60 days within 60 days of release.
Was that is within 60 days? Okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Pierre Thomas. Ms.
And
Scruggs,
obviously no drugs, alcohol, or firearms, of course.
right. Ms. Scruggs, I see you there. If you would like to address the court, I'll need for you to unmute yourself, activate your camera, and raise your right hand for me. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can place your hand down, ma'am. What would you like to tell the court?
I am suggesting signature bond. Yesterday before he was arrested, we lost our baby girl. She died yesterday morning, and our twin son, he's now in the hospital. He's in ICU. I have no support. You know, regardless of our ups and downs, he's a lot of help to me. I don't feel threatened. I don't feel unsafe around him. This incident happened a long time ago, but I don't want to like press charges, or I don't want to do anything further than what it is now. And I'm just requesting he have a signature bond.
It's happened back in July. Well, first let me say I'm sorry for your loss, ma'am. And this happened back in July. Have you all been together since that time?
Back in July, yes, we have.
Okay, and have there been any other incidents since that time?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. Scruggs. I appreciate you being here. Mr. Ty?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 23 years old. He did have 2 children, but as you heard, one of his 6-month-old twins tragically passed away yesterday. I guess that's when he came into contact with the police and was arrested on this warrant from July 8th, 2023. As you heard, the other 6-month-old baby is in the hospital and has COVID. He is recommended UJR level 2. I'm asking for a signature bond through the jail due to the circumstances here and the fact that you've heard from the complaining witness that she does want contact with him. And that would also necessitate a bond modification for that bond from April 8th so that, you know, they can navigate this tragic time as a family together. So I would ask for a bond modification so that he can have no further violent contact with the complaining witness. And a signature bond through the jail so that he can be there for his child who's in the hospital. The other one passed away yesterday. He needs to attend the funeral and do things with the family at this time. So, and I don't know what can be done about the bond surrender, but I would just ask for a signature bond through through the jail or if you have to pretrial services.
Okay, let me deal with this case first. It will be a $10,000 signature bond through the jail, no further violent contact with Ms. Scruggs, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. As far as the other bond goes, Mr. Ty, I'm not sure if you can, well, you'll have to prepare that for me. I would like for it to be, he had a good bond on the battery family violence, I understand, and a signature bond on the other charge. I
believe, I'm sorry, the other
Go
charge,
ahead.
was it a possession of marijuana? I think that was null prost, wasn't it?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just going off what Mr. Pierre Thomas told me earlier, or either Ms. Jackson told me earlier. I'm not sure which at this point. But I can modify that to make it no further violent contact.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Jackson?
Your Honor, are you surrendering it or you're not surrendering the bond?
No,
Because
under the circumstances, I don't want to surrender the bond.
okay, thank you.
I'd like to continue him on pretrial for that charge, only modifying it to have no further violent contact, which he should have done previously, so that, yeah, given the age of this, so that he'd be in compliance. But I'll go ahead and do that now, given the circumstances. Okay, Mr. Ty, you'd have to do that modification for the court.
And Your Honor, if I could just correct it, I think Mr. Ty is actually correct. While it's still reflecting in the system, it does say that the count 2 on the marijuana charge was no prost.
Okay, all right. So, so you understand what I'm requesting you do, Mr. Ty?
Send over a bond modification for the no further contact to be changed to no further violent contact with Ms. Scruggs.
Yes, on that previous case. Okay, okay, all right, very good. Again, good luck to you, Mr. Cunningham, Ms. Scruggs. So very sorry for your loss. Good luck to you all.
Thank you very much.
Who do we have next?
That was a 10,000 SOB through the jail, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Number 9, Mr. Gates, thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Gates. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Gates, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000444C with violation of a family violence order. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
Your Honor, before we continue, is there some way we can handle this case in a breakout room, given the sensitive nature of things?
Okay, let's see. Can we hold this case till the end?
Yes, that's fine, Judge.
Okay.
Number 16, Nelson.
I'm sorry, was that Nelson?
Yes, 16.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Mr. Nelson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Nelson, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000433F with simple battery. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
Yes, he has 11 cycles. The last arrest was December the 6th, 2022 in Florence, South Carolina for malicious injury. He does appear to have an open case pending in South Carolina for malicious injury. And he does appear to be on probation in Detroit, Michigan, for assault with the intent. Counsel may want to waive sounding on the ending of that charge. That disposition date was June the 27th, 2007, 10 years of confinement, and 20 years of probation. And he does have one prior felony conviction that was in 1999 out of Florida for possession of cocaine. And he has misdemeanor convictions. One in 2018 out of South Carolina for giving false information to an officer. One in 2006 out of South Carolina for public drunk. And he does appear to meet the criteria for UJR level 3 with a 79% chance of remaining arrest-free. 79% chance of appearing for court and a 55% chance of remaining arrest-free. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Your Honor, in this case, law enforcement was dispatched to Grady Hospital located at 80 Jesse Hill Drive, where they met with the officer, where the officer took out a warrant for being attacked by the defendant. It appears that the defendant was being treated for mental health treatment at Grady Memorial Hospital. After his treatment was completed, he was asked to leave. He refused to leave. The officer offered him a courtesy ride. The defendant told him that he needed a courtesy ride out of state. The officer explained that he could not provide a ride out of state. At that time, the defendant did become aggressive and did attack the officer, Spencer Goodson. We're asking for a no contact order with that officer. Stay away from Grady unless receiving medical treatment. We are asking for $1,000 surety bond, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol. And the basis of the surety bond is the multiple out-of-state offenses that are violent. The state does have concern about this individual.
Yes, Your Honor. We have no issue with the conditions of bond, but given his financial situation, we would ask that this be a signature bond.
And does he have somewhere to go?
I'm checking my note at this moment. Well, he lives in South. Well, the address given is South Carolina. Again, I'm checking the notes again. I don't see an address here in town. I believe his intention would be to go back to that state.
Right, and that's our concern because we don't see a local address. We have history out of South Carolina and I think Florida, and that history in both of those states are also violent. So, being a multi-state offender who is not from the state of Georgia, there is a concern that he would not return to court.
Mr. Nelson, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you, sir. Mr. Cook, would you like to advise your client as he has his hands raised?
Yes, I said, Your Honor. Mr. Nelson, there's no need for you to speak at this time, and I would advise you.
Well, there's some misunderstanding with the probation warrant out of Detroit, out of Michigan, because I discharged on January 13th on that. And as far as the malicious, in Florence, South Carolina, that was a property of a building.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Not of a person. There's some misinterpretation there.
It's going to be $1,000 good bond. No further contact with Officer Goodson. Stay away from Grady unless he's there for medical services, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right, good luck to you, Mr. Nelson.
Number 15.
Yes, good afternoon. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video, Mr. Mitchell? Thank you. You've been charged in case 24 CR 000431C with criminal trespass and damage to property. Is there a history? Ms. Jackson?
Yes, Your Honor. He does have 60 cycles The last arrest was December the 1st, 2023, out of DeKalb County for criminal trespassing. That case appeared to be still pending. Also, he appears to have an open case pending in Clayton County for criminal trespassing. He does appear to meet the criteria for a UJR level 3 with a 79% chance of appearing for court and a 55% chance of remaining arrest-free. He does have prior felony convictions. One in 2017 out of Florida for possession of controlled substance. One in 2013 out of Florida for possession of marijuana. There's another one in 2013 out of Florida for possession of cocaine with the intent to distribute and possession of controlled substance with the intent to distribute. One in 2011 out of Florida for possession of controlled substance. One in 2010 out of Florida for possession of controlled substance. One in 2007 out of Florida for possession of cocaine with the intent to distribute and possession of marijuana with the intent to distribute. And one in 2005 out of Florida for escape. And one in 1998 out of Florida for possession of cocaine with the intent to distribute. It's one misdemeanor conviction that was in 2004 out of Florida for obstruction of an officer. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Your Honor, in this case, law enforcement was dispatched to the central apartment complex located at 1050 Howe Mill. It was determined that the defendant is not a resident at that apartment building, and he did break out the window to the clubhouse entrance to the building. The state is asking for a $1,500 surety bond, a stay away from the in-state location, no open drugs or alcohol while on bond. I understand that pretrial is recommended in UJR through pretrial level 3, but again, it sounds like the defendant has 3 open cases for criminal trespass in 3 different jurisdictions and a laundry list of convictions in multiple states. So we would be objecting to a signature bond through pretrial services and seeking that surety bond. Nothing further at this time.
Your Honor, we have no objection to the conditions of the bond. We would ask you to accept the recommendation of pretrial and make it a level 3 signature bond.
So does he have a place to reside, Mr. Cook?
Yes, he lives at in Jonesboro on 2390 Coach Way, and he should be able to return there. Oh, I thought somebody said something. So that's my understanding.
All right, it'll be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3. Stay away from the apartment complex at 1050 Howard Mill. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Mitchell.
Number 12, Johnson. This is gonna be, Gregory Johnson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Gregory Johnson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that was conducted by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Good morning, Judge. Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 20 CR 0000429J. Failure to obey signs or control devices, driving without a valid license, fleeing or attempting to elude a police officer, and possession and use of drug-related objects. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
Yes, Your Honor, he has 20 cycles. The last arrest was October the 8th, 2020 in Bismarck, North Dakota for dangerous drugs. He does appear to be on probation in North Dakota for conspiracy of crystal meth. That disposition date was August the 10th, 2022 for 72 months of confinement.
Is this
Ms. Jackson, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but we do have 2 Johnsons, and this one's indicating that, can we make sure that this is the right?
Gregory Johnson. And then the next one is Glenn Johnson.
I've never.
Booking number is gonna be 2401169.
Okay, that's the history that I appear to be looking at. If
I've
you'd
never,
like for me to go ahead and look at it again, Your Honor, I will pull it up again and I will do a comparison, but that's the one that I do
Same here.
see there's a Glenn Johnson and I do see a Gregory Johnson. I'm pulling Gregory Johnson GCIC up right now.
Your Honor, there's two Gregory Johnsons in Fulton County, and they're actually in this, kind of in the same dorm, and showing that they were in the same dorm. One is younger, and this one is the older Gregory Johnson.
Can I get a date of birth?
The date of birth for 12/12/1968.
You said 12/10/1968?
12/12/1968.
Okay, Your Honor, we do need time to run this one again. Because I'm looking at the one that has the date of birth. Well, actually, it says the date of birth is December the 12th, 1968. But when I looked at the GCIC, it's saying something different. Let me scroll down. I would like to run this history again, Your Honor. I'm not sure what's going on.
I'll give the facts. She can rerun it, but that history, the other history is not no better. But nonetheless, in this case for Johnson, this is the fleeing case. This is the traffic offense. So the officer did observe a white Toyota 4Runner running through a light on Abernathy. Upon making contact or attempting to make contact with the defendant, the driver did continue to run through several stop signs. Upon making contact with them, search and the arrest did reveal that the defendant had a crack pipe on his person. To the three driving offenses, the state is asking for $1,000 surety bond. To the one count of drug-related object, we are asking for a $500 surety bond. We are asking for no driving without a valid license, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond. And again, for this Johnson, he's a multi-state offender with felonies and various convictions and offenses also. So I don't, yeah. But I'll defer to pretrial services.
Your Honor, it's going to take me I'll need at least 6 or 7 minutes to run that history again. Can we put it, come back to him?
Take someone else while we run the history on Mr. Gregory Johnson, please.
Can we do 11, Glenn Johnson?
Okay.
He's gonna go pro se.
Good afternoon, Mr. Johnson. Good afternoon, sir. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Agree.
It's my understanding, Mr. Johnson, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. We have provided you the assistance of a public defender today. Is it my understanding that you are declining the assistance of counsel today?
I don't want to counsel.
I'm sorry, say it again.
I do not need counsel for y'all. I'm my own counsel.
Okay, so you wanna proceed pro se and represent yourself this afternoon?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Mr. Johnson, you've been accused in case 24 CR 000448J with criminal trespass, giving false information to law enforcement, and obstruction of law enforcement. Is there a history on this one, Ms. Jackson?
He has 12 cycles. The last arrest was September the 17th, 2021, out of Waco, Texas, for criminal trespassing and resisting an arrest. He does appear to meet the criteria for a UJR level 2, with an 84% chance of appearing for court and a 65% chance of remaining arrest-free. He does have prior felony convictions, one in 2013 out of North Carolina for possession of Schedule 2, controlled substance with the intent to distribute. One in 2012 out of North Carolina for breaking and entering, and he does have misdemeanor convictions. One in 2022 out of Texas for resisting an arrest. One in 2011 out of North Carolina for obstruction of an officer. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Your Honor, brief facts of the case is that on January 21st, 2024, the officer was dispatched to a fight in progress call at the incident location, which appeared to be a Shell gas station located at 902 Donnelly Hollowell Parkway, Northwest Atlanta, Georgia, here in Fulton County, Georgia. The officer spoke with the owner of the Shell gas station, who advised the defendant was in the store earlier that morning harassing customers and would not leave. The officer himself tried multiple attempts to get the defendant to leave, but the defendant refused and continued to resist. Actually, following that, the defendant resisted arrest. The defendant kept pulling away from the officer after being given multiple verbal commands for him to comply. The defendant also lied multiple times about his given birth name, and it took for the officer to fingerprint the defendant in order for him to get the correct name, Your Honor. Your Honor, given the idea that this is his first arrest in Georgia and the nature of the charges, the recommendation from the state is actually a signature bond through the jail, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and a stay away from that incident location, which is that Shell gas station on Donnelly Hollowell. Nothing further to add from the state at this time.
So for each charge, it's going to be $1,000 signature bond through the jail, which makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Shell gas station on Donnelly Parkway, and no drugs, alcohol, weapon while out on bond. So, okay, so Mr. Johnson, I'm going to give you a signature bond through the jail, but you can't go back to that Shell gas station, okay?
I'm out to submit this into a record so it can be on evidence. A shareholder, I have shares in the petroleum that's at that station. A share owner is not a trustee. I have parcel to a ownership, which is it's a sub. He owns partial of the store, which makes him a trustee. If I have 100 shares my share title is APA under New York Stock Exchange. I have over 100,000 shares in that petroleum, which is the Egyptian petroleum. Once I came to him and I wanted to give him notice and I wanted to issue out the organic law under Parliament. I am Cameroon and Mozambique. But
it appears that the defendant.
I need to put this out because I contacted the Attorney General for protection due to this. And not only that, I've been sleeping outside 125 days. At the same time, I am writing actual authorities. I've written Washington, D.C. I've written the Georgian state, all of y'all about for protection and all that stuff like that. Only thing I'm saying is I'm asking for is the Georgian state, they promoted a voucher program, and I have been kicked out. I have not been able to get a voucher for housing.
Okay, Francois?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna change the bond recommendation. It's gonna be the bond on this is gonna be $1,000 good bond on each charge, makes for a total of a $3,000 good bond. I'm gonna need a mental health evaluation, and stay away from the Shell gas station on Donnelly Parkway, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Let's see, and Mr. Cook, could I get you to assist the court since or Ms. Kim with preparing a mental health evaluation for me, please?
Yes.
All right, I appreciate that. Thank you, Francois. Who do we have next?
You're welcome. Go ahead and have a seat for me. Are we ready for number 12, Gregory Johnson?
Let's see, Ms. Jackson, have we?
No, we're not ready, Your Honor.
Okay, doesn't appear so. Anyone else that we can take? We can do the breakout if so
I
This is, I'm sorry, are we ready for Mr. Johnson, Gregory?
No, they're not ready, but if it's all right with you, we're gonna go into the breakout room for Mr. Gates.
Okay,
Okay, so that we don't, and then hopefully by the time we get back, they'll have Mr. Johnson's ready for us.
okay, thanks.
Okay, so can we go, who needs to be in the breakout room for Mr. Gates?
We need Miss Ridley, Your Honor, and ASG Walker as well.
And me.
Okay,
And if we could have I believe SG Denise and SG Body.
so we'll put everybody in the breakout room. Okay, courtroom 2, who do I have there?
This is Mr. Gates, number 9.
Okay, so Mr. Gates, I've had the opportunity to discuss your case in detail with your lawyer and with the state. As far as your previous bond that you received the last time, apparently last week when you were here, I'm not going to surrender that bond. But as far as this violation of the family violence order, it's going to be $1,000 good bond, no further contact with Ms. Ridley. Stay away from the, I'm sorry, I did not get, Mr. Pierre Thomas, what that location was.
Is going to be, Your Honor, one moment. It is going to be 340 Barach, BERACACH Trail Southwest, South Fulton, 30331.
Okay. And Mr. Gates, I understand that this was explained to you last time, so I'm going to explain it to you in detail so that I know that I've explained it to you so that you know. You cannot go back to that Barak Trail address while you are on this one. You can't go back at all. If you have belongings there, you can have someone else retrieve those belongings, but I don't want you back there. If you go back there and you come back before me, you're going to be in even greater trouble. So you cannot go back there. You can have no contact with Miss Ridley. No contact means absolutely no contact. No phone contact, no personal contact, no email contact, no internet contact, no contact whatsoever. You cannot even have third-party contact. You can't send a message through someone to her. If I find out that you're doing that, I'm going to revoke this bond. Okay? No contact and do not go back to that location. Okay, Ms. Jackson, did you have something?
Yes, Your Honor. Are you going to surrender the bond or?
I'm going to continue him on that previous bond.
Okay,
So
thank
that
you.
he's going to have $1,000 good bond on this new charge, but he's still going to be on the pretrial bond. Okay.
I have a question, Your Honor.
Yes.
As far as how do you want me to write this up about him being able to retrieve his items?
No, he's not able to. He can only retrieve it if he has any. He can't go back there. He's going to have to find a way through a third party to retrieve the items.
Okay, that's what I needed to hear.
Okay.
Third party to retrieve items left.
If there are some items that are
Okay,
left.
that's what I needed to
Okay.
hear. Okay.
All right. So he is not to go back there himself with anyone. Period. Okay. All right. Good luck to you all. Who do we have next? Have we gotten the GCIC, Miss Jackson?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
You ready?
And so this is Mr. Gregory Johnson, position number 12. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So I think we were just at the point. So let's start at the point of the history.
Yes,
So
Your
go
Honor.
ahead, Ms. Jackson.
He has 34 cycles. The last arrest was November the 2nd, 2023, with Georgia State University. Driving while license suspended or revoked. There was no disposition for that arrest. Also, he appears to have an outstanding hold out of Columbus, Ohio, for a parole violation. The date on that warrant is June the 12th, 2020, and he does have prior felony convictions. One in 2010 out of Gwinnett County for 2 counts of forgery in the first degree. One in 2008 out of Cobb County for 2 counts of theft by taking and felony obstruction. There's another one in 2008 for financial transaction card theft and financial identity fraud and forgery in the second degree and theft by receiving stolen property. There's one in 2001 for theft by receiving stolen property. And there was one out of 1996 out of Catoosa County, Georgia, for theft by receiving stolen property. And he does have one that was in 2011 out of Ohio for extortion, a felony. There were misdemeanor convictions, one in 2010 out of DeKalb County for battery, family violence, and one in 1999 for driving while license suspended or revoked. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Recommendation was a $3,500 good bond. Do you want to add anything to any of that? Okay, so Mr. Cook, I don't believe I've given you the opportunity to speak.
Your Honor, we would accept the we would accept the recommendation of pretrial.
Was pretrial recommendation of pretrial services or UJR jail?
Oh, gee, yeah, we went through. See in my notes, were they recommending a level 2?
A level 2 counsel.
Yes, thank you.
Again, I understand that pretrial has some type of software where they do these calculations, but I believe she stated he's wanted out of the state of Ohio. I don't see how he can be a pretrial candidate when, if he does make bond, he has a parole hold out of Ohio. He seems to have a lot of out-of-state history, and I'm certain that's why he was fleeing from the police. So the state is asking for a surety bond. And in my opinion, I don't think he's a pretrial candidate or a signature bond candidate. He has a parole violation warrant. So
Your Honor.
yeah, I think that's self-explanatory.
Mr. Johnson, I know you have your hand up. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. I don't want you to get yourself in more trouble than you already are, but I'm going to have your counsel advise you, though. Mr. Cook, he wants to say something, so.
Mr. Johnson, I would advise you not to say anything. That's all I can do is advise you.
Yes, sir. I'm not gonna make a statement. I just want to clarify something. The state of Ohio operates different from the state of Georgia. When you go into the system and you complete your time, when you come out of the system, they automatically put you on parole. What you're seeing on your screen is a parole hold, yes, but it's for Ohio pickup only. It's not interstate where they're gonna come to Georgia and get it.
Thank you.
It's just Ohio only.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. If nothing further, it's going to be a $250 good bond per charge, so a total of $1,000 good bond. No driving without a valid license, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Johnson.
So, Your Honor, you're saying that I have to pay $1,000?
I'll let Mr. Cook talk to you about that after court today, if you will address him regarding his options, Mr. Cook.
Yes.
All right.
Judge, I don't have the calendar in front of me. Which charges were they? Because I don't have the calendar.
Okay, so the charge one was failure to obey signs, signals, control device. The next one was driving without a valid license. The next was fleeing or attempting to elude a police officer. And the next was possession and use of drug-related objects.
Thank you.
So can I ask you one more question, Judge?
Yes, sir.
I was here maybe less than a month ago, and I was given a get out of jail free bond. What disqualified me this time from that?
Well, maybe that you were here a month ago and you got one then. You go think how many you got? How many you want, Mr. Johnson?
No, sir.
Okay. See, this is what I tell people. You know that you think that you're saying something that's going to help you, and it ends up where that's not helping you.
I just wanted a little clarity. I wouldn't.
Okay, I don't know what you were charged with the last time, Mr. Johnson, but as far as these charges, you have $1,000 good bond. All right, good luck to you, sir. Okay, who do we have next?
We also have a waiver of appearance. It's going to be number 17 for Mr. Potter.
Okay. Do we have other waivers?
let me, cause I gave my calendar to my sergeant. Let me,
Okay, let me go through it with you then. We still,
Your Honor, may I inquire
Yeah.
on one that was, did Rebecca, I inquire of the jail, did Rebecca Kennedy bond out?
Yeah.
she was, she was position 13, so she bonded out.
Thank you.
Okay. And we have Potter 17.
yes,
Okay.
That's the waiver.
Okay, and is that all of them?
I
We
believe.
got everyone else?
That's it.
Okay, all right, so let's do Mr. Potter, who's charged 24 CR 0000434D with criminal trespass. Does he have a history, Ms. Jackson?
Yes, Your Honor, this is going to be a bond surrender. He has 33 cycles. The last arrest was January the 6th, 2024. And that was in Fulton County for criminal trespassing in possession and use of drug-related objects. He was out on a signature bond on those charges through pretrial services. That case number is 24 CR 000120 and the letter D. I do see a prior misdemeanor conviction. It's in 2022 for simple assault. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
1 second, Your Honor. Okay, in this case, law enforcement was dispatched to the Chevron located at 111 Boulevard Northeast. Due to the defendant being on the premises, he has previously been criminally trespassed from this location before. I'm just looking at Odyssey and I see about 2 to 3 open cases, which are all criminal trespasses in state court. So we are asking for $1,000 surety bond, a stay away from the incident location, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while bond.
And do you have that previous bond, Mr. Walker, on the last criminal
Yes, I'm pulling,
trespass?
let me pull it up right now. It looks like it was from January 8th of this year. 1 second. It was okay, it was the same location, pretrial services. He was given a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial services and a stay away.
Who
So,
gave him that?
let me see who signed off. I'm sorry, I just clicked off of it. Let me open it back up. It looks like it was you, Your Honor.
Okay, so I've given him one opportunity, so I'll surrender that bond for the previous one, Mr. Cook.
Your Honor, I would, I don't have any problem with the recommendation of the solicitor in this case.
Okay, so why don't we do this? I'm gonna give him $1,000 good bond on this charge. Stay away from that Chevron, no drugs, alcohol, weapons. Miss Bridgewater, if you would just make a note on this one also to place all of his charges on that February 6th
Okay.
SAP calendar.
Will do.
Okay.
And
Anything?
Your Honor, just briefly,
Yes.
I don't think probation is on the line, but he has an open probation case that you sentenced him to on SAP. So when he goes to SAP, I don't know if probation needs to be made aware, but he has another open probation case in case they want to schedule that for the same calendar on SAP.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Walker. We'll see if we can make a note of that also, Miss Bridgewater.
Do we have that case number?
Yes, that case number is 23 CR 006-220D. Looks like he took that plea on 10/26 of 23, and Judge Morrow was the judge for SAP that day.
Okay, did you say D as in boy or D as in dog?
D as in David. Yeah, D as in dog.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Anything further before we go over the calendar? If not, whenever you're ready, Ms. Bridgewater.
Okay, I am ready. Once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is February the 6th. Position number 1 is reset further notice with a $7,500 SOB through pretrial. 2, reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. 3, reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through pretrial. 4 is reset further notice with a total $5,000 SOB through pretrial. 5, reset further notice with a $10,000 SOB through the jail. 6, reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through pretrial. 7, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. 8, reset further notice with a total $2,000 SOB through the jail. 9 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. 10 is being reset till tomorrow because we had no conflict attorney. However, it has a $10,000 good bond. 11, reset to the SAP calendar with a total $3,000 good bond. 12 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $1,000 good bond. 13 is being reset further notice as the defendant has been released. 14, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the jail. 15, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 16 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. 17, SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. 18, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 19, reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. 20 is reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through pretrial. 21, reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through pretrial. 22 is going to the SAP calendar with a $5,000 good bond. 23, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. Are there any questions, comments, or otherwise?
I have a question. What was position 4?
Position 4 is being reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB, $5,000 total SOB through pretrial, and it was a level 1. 2,000 on each of the battery family violence and 1,000 on the criminal trespass.
Okay.
Are there any others?
All right, then. Thank you all so much. See you next time. Have a good rest of your day. And Ms. Bridgewater, I'll get those signed back to you as soon as I
I'm
get.
bringing them to you right now, Judge. Thank you.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you for your patience, Your Honor.
Oh, no, not a problem at all. Y'all have a good afternoon.
You
Thank
too.
you. You too.
Bye.